Three, two, one. What's up, y'all? Hey, we're gonna patch some things together. We're gonna do a little bit of this and that today. But let me start you off with this little clip that I want to play, and it may play a little bit too long, but it's all good because I know y'all motherfuckers love me enough to stick with me through this clip.
Grabs, as well as Georgia being the turning point possibly. So depending on how these Georgians vote, the Senate could flip blue. So they're very passionate to make sure the Senate races does not have any fraud as well. So we were speaking with Steve here. He is a born and raised Georgia native. He's from New York actually.
New York. I live in Commerce, Georgia.
He lives in Commerce, Georgia. So he's saying he's here. He really says he supports Trump's, what he's done for the black community. He said that it's done a lot for the families and helped them to have some dignity. Is that what you were saying?
I think by reducing the unemployment rate among black Americans and Hispanic Americans, President Trump created tremendous opportunities for young black men and women to support themselves, to marry, to support families, to do things like bring their kids to school and establish themselves with some dignity and self-support. And it's a wonderful thing that he accomplished, and I don't think the president or President Trump's supporters get enough credit, because that's what really we want. We're not the racists that we're portrayed as. We believe in fair treatment for everybody, and we want a fair opportunity for everyone. Nothing could be better than for young people to have a chance for a job, and simply saying that everybody by law has to be given $15 an hour to work doesn't going to solve unemployment. It's probably going to make unemployment because people will be laid off because some employers can't afford that. But when everybody has jobs, more and more people have jobs, it becomes a better, easier contribution, easier to see how the economy can grow that way and how the society can be better for it. And especially with young men that are actively raising families, protecting their children, bringing them to school, making sure they get medical care, dental care, clothes to wear, food on the table. That's a wonderful thing. You almost can't put a price on that.
We know, are you familiar with Vernon Jones, the state representative here?
Yes, I am.
So we know you're talking about traditional family values, right? So what he was telling me, we interviewed Vernon Jones a couple of weeks ago. He was sharing with us that that's one of he's a Democrat actually here in the state of Georgia. He was telling me that one of the reasons he does support Trump, even though he's a registered Democrat and acting Democrat state representative here, he said that he supports Trump because of the traditional family values and how important that is. And Vernon Jones was telling us how far the other party has went, the Democratic Party has went to the left, where they're not protecting the traditional family values. So it looks like, Steve, that's a big deal for you too, the traditional family values, right?
It is for all of us. And almost every Trump voter wants the best for every family. They don't want to become millionaires or rich or anything, but they just want the opportunity to earn a living, raise their children, and give them a better opportunity for a better job than they have. That's the tradition of America, that every generation has more than the previous one. We don't want to reduce things, we want to make them greater. So
that's a good point. It's a good point to think about that. So that's why you're here today, to voice your support for the Republican Party and those values.
I am so proud of the president for all he's done for minorities, and I think it's so unfair that he's not getting credit, and he's actually being labeled the opposite of all the good things that he's done. He's not a racist. He's done more for poor minorities than any president has ever done. And he's done it quietly, just done it by doing things that are obvious and common sense. You cut red tape, let companies come back to America and establish employment for the people, and that's just wonderful.
So what do you think needs to happen? We know that right now the young people seem to be the target for a lot of this misinformation in the colleges. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the college situation. We talked to some college students earlier who was sharing that, what's going on their college campuses. We know that there's a lot of colleges that are pressuring these young people to fall along ideological lines that are, they shame them for their conservative values. Some of the young people have told us. So I'm just concerned, just being, a wise man, Steve. What do you think is the answer to helping our young people to really wake up and return to those values?
Well, that's a good question. I think the first thing is they have to be able to hear an opposite point of view. Most of them are adamant that they don't want to even hear somebody that disagrees with them, and that's the most unfortunate thing. Because if somebody going to convince them that if you're thinking wrong and you never hear an opposite point of view, you never hear an argument about why you're wrong, you'll never be able to change your mind. So by outlawing dissent and conservative speakers on many college campuses, and really censoring them in so many ways. I mean, it's ridiculous that the President of the United States is actually censored on Facebook, and he's censored on Twitter. It's laughable. There's a statement I saw a statement after he made a charge of a corrupt election, that mail-in votes are safe and secure, and all I have to say, that's a Twitter statement. How can mail-in votes be safe and secure if Pennsylvania returns mail-in votes that were the same day they were mailed? There's something wrong with the process. If they mail out votes on one day and they receive the votes back from the same voters the same day, that obviously is not a normal mail delivery process.
And that's actually one thing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Sidney Powell-led lawsuit. Well, it looks like there's some stuff going on right here. So they're, chanting across the street to the couple of people that have gathered over there. Earlier, they were just singing or saying the Pledge of Allegiance up there, so they're very passionate to make sure that their voice is heard, and no violence over here, which is a good thing. But what I was trying to mention about Sidney Powell's the Sidney Powell-led lawsuit, you're talking about the absentee ballots, right? And some of the things they're trying to challenge in that lawsuit, from what I understand, is some manufactured ballots. That's what one of the allegations. I've talked to many poll watchers, and they say that there's been ballots that have perfect circles voting for Joe Biden. Now, I personally have not seen any of those ballots with the perfect circles, but a lot of the poll watchers from many counties I've been to that have told me that these perfect circles they look to be manufactured, because they say there's no way for a human to make this perfect circle. So it's very loud over here in Georgia, right, Steve? A lot of passion out here.
There's passion, yes. Well, I heard the same stories, Melanie, about the ballots that were filled in with a perfect circle as though they were done on a machine. Is I guess the implication that a person didn't sit down with a marking pen or a pencil or something and fill that out. That it was done. It came out of a machine. It was printed that way. So.
Have you seen that?
We're all going at our own speed. At Enterprise, peace of mind starts with our complete...
That lawsuit, do you think there's hope for it?
Yes, I am familiar with Sidney Powell's lawsuit. I understand she brought up 30 different complaints in her lawsuit that she filed in Georgia.
Do you think that's going to be successful?
I'm not really sure. The details that I have a lot of hope for are the fact that Matt Brainerd identified over 1,000 people in Georgia that filled out their absentee application with an address that was a post office. He found another 1,000 that put down a residential address, which was a commercial address. And in the case of the post office, instead of putting down post office box 555, they put down apartment 555. So they were clearly falsifying information in their application. That was over 2,000 instances of that alone. the difference in between Biden and Trump in Georgia is not very big. So we can only get a fair assessment of all these issues. We may be able to throw all those votes out and win Georgia.
I see. That's a good point. That's why you're here, Steve. Show your passion. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here and sharing your story. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, awesome. So that's
y'all, it is motherfucking Sunday. It is hype. I got hyped off that video. It's too cold. This motherfucker went QAnon conspiracy. We're gonna put out 2,000 ballots were for Trump, but he lost by 200,000 in Georgia. But yet we're gonna claim this red motherfucking wave. Now Pennsylvania is something totally different. Pennsylvania is a Supreme Court decision where in Pennsylvania, these PA votes are going to get thrown the fuck out. They will have no electoral college votes because what they did was fucked up. But he's got to get that in 2 more states to remove those electoral votes from Joe Biden to become president again. And will he get those 2 states to throw out their ballots in the same way that Pennsylvania is about to do it? Because the Supreme Court is about to rule on Pennsylvania. This is where we're at. This is no joke. This is no conspiracy. This is no hype. This is no red. This is no blue. This is no gold. Bullshit. Pennsylvania will not have electoral votes in the 2020 election because what they did is they passed an executive order that bypassed the Constitution. In order for Pennsylvania to count these votes, they had to have a vote on the vote, and they did not. So Pennsylvania is thrown out. Trump reduces Biden's electoral votes for whatever Pennsylvania has. I don't know whether they have 20, 30, 15, 12, 22. It doesn't matter. That's 1 down. He has to have Michigan or Wisconsin. Georgia's not happening. Georgia's already done. The AP's already called this election, by the way. This is, I think it's like December 1st now. This is too cold for Sunday, but this happens to be on a Monday morning. Georgia's cool. I don't think Arizona is AP called. Actually, the AP called the whole fucking election. Doesn't matter. AP does not matter. Pennsylvania's out. Michigan is a quirky fucking state where some quirky shit happened where I was up election night until 4 a.m. and then they stopped everything. And then at like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., they took a few hours off and then they found like 600,000 votes and 0 for Trump. 600,000 for Biden, 0 for Trump in a 3-hour period. They just found them. They were just magically there. Wisconsin was kind of somewhere. I don't know if it was as much as what happened in like the Detroit thing. Y'all can watch like some Netflix documentaries about like the political affiliations and political parties and mayors of Detroit who happen to run this political system. But Pennsylvania is definitely fucked up. We all know about Governor Whitmer. She's fucked up. Ask anyone you know from Michigan what you think or what they think about Governor Whitmer. I think this is like her first term. Like she got appointed because she had to be this bitch. There's potentially 2. Michigan might get fucked up too, you know? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the next day or week or 2 weeks. I don't know what's going to happen. Do you? Shit. We're here to talk about it, though. And then Trump just needs 1 more of these fucking swing states to go to a Supreme Court decision where they say your votes are invalidated. And this invalidation of electoral votes by popular vote has happened many fucking times in our history. It happened in the 70s several times. It happened in the 1890s several times. So don't think it cannot happen right now. Don't think that what the media is telling you is actually happening right now because it has happened before, where those electoral votes were thrown the fuck out. He has 1. He may have 2. And a week from now, he may have 3. And Joe Biden happened to have broken his motherfucking ankle with a hairline fracture from playing with his dog, which he's taken to the White House. Joe Biden is not the president, the electoral president. Let me get my verbiage right. I think that's what it is. He is not the electoral president yet. Don't let the mainstream media convince you that that's a thing, because that is not official in terms of government things. He still has, what do we say? I think it's like in December they have a thing, and in January they have a thing, and then February it's official. But I think it's like early January before these electoral votes actually get counted. The electoral votes, not the actual votes that happen, but the states actually saying, yes, we agree, this is the thing that happened. Our state voted this way, not that way. So we, as a state who is in charge, we can overturn the shit. But we probably won't, because we don't want to have all that much fucking hatred, and then we don't have this civil war happening right now. There's still weeks left in on this thing. And I do not believe Trump will win. But I want y'all to know that if Joe Biden dies, it's not Kamala Harris as president, even if Joe Biden wins. Even the Supreme Court says Joe Biden won the popular vote. If Joe Biden dies between now and, like, we'll throw a date, January 12th. I don't know what the date is. I think it's in January. But even if he dies before then, it's automatically Trump. Joe Biden could die of coronavirus. Joe Biden could die of natural causes. Joe Biden could die of old age. Joe Biden could die of fucking brain disease, cancer, testicular, got fucked, got my balls ripped out, got suicided, got murdered by the Clintons. It don't matter. If he dies before this date in January, Donald Trump is our president again. That's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is Pennsylvania gets flipped by the Supreme Court. They say, nope, this was not regular, this was not happening, this was not a thing. And then in Michigan, which Michigan was probably fucked up too, and they can probably find some things going on in Michigan, in Detroit, because that's where it happened. And then they will also go across the state to the left side of the state in Grand Rapids, because there's probably some fucked up shit there, because that city is way fucked up. They also want to compare Grand Rapids to Fort Wayne. We're kind of similar in size, similar in like things we do, similar in business, similar in things, but they are way... I bought motherfucking... I'm not even going to tell you about... Grand Rapids is way more fucked up than what Fort Wayne will ever be, in every possible single way. The only thing that is better about Grand Rapids is there's like 2 families in Grand Rapids that own pro sports teams, but both those dudes that made all that motherfucking money doing whatever they did, they have passed away. Fort Wayne's got a few really, really rich motherfuckers who had not bought pro sports teams, so they're not so hyped. But these Grand Rapids rich motherfuckers are hyped. They happen to own the Orlando Magic and 1 or 2 other pro sports teams. They are dead. They've died. They've died in the last couple of years. Sad story. Shout out to their family. Y'all are probably doing okay. Y'all probably went to private school forever and are not fucked up in any way because you went to private school. Well, you know motherfuckers that go to private school are not fucked up. So Trump just needs one more state to have the Supreme Court say, flip that script. Those votes don't count. Is it Arizona? Because it's not Georgia. 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 Even though the Georgia voting machines are the most talked about thing on the fucking Twitter. You got to provide some cold, hard facts about that. So we're going to push our fucking problem out west to Arizona. And we know the West is not the East, and the West is very West, and the West is fucked. Donald Trump's not went out there. The Supreme Court knows this. They're like, that's a whole new fucking world. That's like gold rush, motherfucking different world shit. I'm not going to go into any sort of indigenous tribe shit that may or may not be happening out there. There may be some gambling, some illegal drinking underage, there may be some prostitution, and a little bit of cartel action going out there. And Donald Trump cannot afford to fuck up with any of that. But there's still a chance. There's still a chance. I want y'all to know there's still a chance. I don't know which way we lean, whether it be left, right, center, gold, blue, red, Crip, blood, hashtag jerk me off because I don't know the gold game banger. Fucking. So we're going to wrap this up real quick. I had to do this because my last pod, I was a little bit too. This pod, I'm almost too. The next pod, I'm not going to be. It's great having you here. It's great having you here. I appreciate all 50 y'all motherfuckers who come to tune in. All 50 y'all motherfuckers who come to say, you know what, I need a different perspective. I need to know what's this, what's that, what's going on, what's between the truth, what's between the lies, what's happening. Y'all keep it real. Because Puck didn't give a fuck in Real World Season number 2. Real World Season number 1 was conflicted with a whole bunch of like HIV, a whole bunch of like the AIDS, a whole bunch of like this Brooklyn dude who was kind of flaming, caught that disease, and then like the world shifted against him, and we all just see what happened to him when he caught the virus, and then how his life panned out, and how he couldn't pay for his fucking medical bills because medical bills were way outrageous back then, even in the early 90s. What the fuck do you think is going to happen to us? Do you think this vaccine is going to fix us? Do you think we're only going to have one vaccine and then we're cured? Or do you think we're going to have vaccine after vaccine after vaccine? Show your RFID chips, show your fucking cell phone to prove what vaccines you had, to be employed, to get into a concert, to order fast food, to go to the grocery store, to buy a house. Where do you think it's going? You don't think the AI can tell where you're at? You don't think the AI can outpredict the stock market? You don't think the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, who has all information about China, does not understand where every screw, every nail, every silicon motherfucking chip goes, how much time every single employee in their fucking country spends in their fucking suicide shops where they want to jump out of the 20th fucking floor? Do you not understand that the Chinese Communist Party has all that factored out, and they have the AI to fucking predict how to take over the world, and we're in the middle of this fucking world takeover right now? You think America's got that? You think Apple's giving up all their information? You think the FBI's hacking Apple? You think the CIA is hacking SAP? You think Tesla is giving out all their information on how many cars they're selling and how much they sell for? You think the Bank of America is giving out their fucking interest rates every single second to the government? And you think the government can hack that? No, I don't. I'm telling you, there's this AI fucking artificial intelligence algorithm that's going on where the way the United States is set up in this capitalist society cannot overcome. How the AI and the CCP can overcome what we're doing because they have more information about their country than we do about our country, and there is a fucking computer program who is ready to override it. And where this is important, fucking write this down. Write down this date, December 1st, 2020. Where this is important, where I need you to know this is important, is in stocks and the stock market. Because where is all the wealth? Where is all this wealth in this country? Elon Musk is the number 2 richest person in the world. Jeff Bezos is number 1 as the richest person in the world. But they're not liquid. All their money is in stocks. And when the CCP figures out a way to fucking siphon their money off their fucking stocks, this South African and this fucking American will not have that money. And when you hear about the richest people in the world, you only hear about the richest people in the world usually based off stocks. What do we say? There's like 500 billionaires in the United States, like 1,000 billionaires in the world. But usually like the top 300 are in America, and they probably own pro sports teams. Anyway, side note. You have to remember, Vladimir Putin owns Russia. He's the ultimate dictator of Russia. Xi Jinping is the ultimate dictator of China. Vladimir Putin owns every dollar in Russia. Xi Jinping owns every dollar in China. How many other communist countries that you cannot name their president or their dictator or whatever, they own everything. Everyone else is just leasing from them. They don't factor that in. And if you don't think America can be flipped, where maybe it's not Donald Trump, maybe it's not Joe Biden owns every single part of the American U.S. economy, there is a motherfucker that does. And that's where we get into the occult. That's where we get into the New World Order. That's where you have to understand that the script is flipped. This isn't the United States of America. This is the United States of, fill in the blank with a name, George Soros. Is he it anymore? Maybe, maybe not. Was he it? Was he leading this? Maybe, maybe not. Bill Gates? Is he leading it? Is he not? Y'all got a computer? Y'all affiliated with Bill Gates? Let's look at our house. Let's look at our household products. What do you got? If y'all got a computer, Bill Gates is probably making money off that. Y'all got a TV, Bill Gates probably making money off that. Y'all got furniture, Bill Gates probably decides if he wants to make money off that. Y'all got a blender, Bill Gates is making fucking money on it. And you don't think that like just his stock price, just his advertised fucking ownership, just his advertised billions that he owns is all that he's got? Shit, this is a power situation. And who's got the power? Nobody like you or me. We're not 1%. We're not 10%. We're not 15%. We're not 50%. I'm doing well and I'm still negative in that aspect. I'm doing well and I'm still negative. Are you negative? You want to add it up? You want to add up your debt? You want to add up to what you owe? You want to think about when am I going to get my house paid off and how much more am I going to have to pay in property taxes after my house is paid off? How much more are they going to raise these property taxes and what is that going to? How much in sales tax do I pay? How much am I not getting back of my own money? Like, we're not winning on this. We are below that red line. And if y'all don't see it, I don't know what to tell you. But that's cool. We'll leave that occult bullshit for another day. I'll come speak with you another day because you know what? It is motherfucking Sunday and I ain't doing shit but this. And y'all probably need to be doing some more shit than what I'm doing because what I'm doing is not quite enough. Get your red candles out. Get your blue candles out. Get your black candles out. Summon the motherfucking Zozo demon and tell me what's up. Hit me up on Twitter. You know where to find me. On the gram, on Facebook. Fucking text me, call me, shout me out. When you see me, give me that $1.50 because you're not paying me for my Patreon, but you want to talk shit, and I know that you do. It's been real. Peace out. I want to get 30 with y'all. Y'all want to go 30 with me? Shit. I'll see your bitch in the sheets. What's up? Love y'all. Peace out.